are a lot of options, I suppose, and often if you peruse the literature or take advice, you'll get a whole potpourri of things that you should try. People talk about good exercise, people talk about eating properly, people will talk about getting out of yourself and doing things and all that kind of thing. And in fact, there's nothing wrong with any of these on their own as things that you can do which will not be bad for you and can help. But what all of these little bits and bobs lack is any overarching idea of why you're doing this and what's really going on. And my basic point is that if you are really in a bad way, if you are really lost in a depression, you need more than to know that you really should go to the gym once a day and take exercise, because it's altogether more serious than that. So if we leave aside all these tips, depression tips, of which there are hundreds and thousands, I would say there are three main therapeutic options open to you. The first is that you go to your GP and he prescribes antidepressants. And antidepressants can change mood, and they can take pressure off you. And there is an enormous industry that is building and designed to offer antidepressants. And it may seem a very easy option. But let me now quote something from a Danish psychiatrist who has very well summarized the absolute brutal truth about antidepressants. This is what he said: the evidence for the benefits of psychiatric drugs like antidepressants is so weak and so flawed, and the adverse effects are so often underrated or ignored, that the widespread use of these drugs was likely to do more harm than good. And here's just one of a number that's saying this. So yes, antidepressants can help, but then they might not. And yes, antidepressants might, for some people, be free of side effects, but for others, the side effects can be very serious, from suicidal thoughts, from a terribly congested head, from loss of libido, from all these kind of things. And you never know ahead of time whether you'll be one of the lucky ones or the unlucky ones. And if you wish to take away from antidepressants and not wish to go there, then if you go to most GPs, they will offer cognitive behavioral therapy. That's CBT. And CBT is now a really big industry in the United Kingdom, and I think in America too. So there's lots of people peddling CBT, and it's all meant to be very scientific, and it's all meant to be absolutely authoritative. But the truth is that CBT works by challenging a thought. So if you have a thought such as, I'm really useless, how can I ever get out of the hole I'm in? You kind of know that that's a stupid thought. You kind of know that this is your mind playing games with you. But if you try to challenge that thought, how can you do that if you're exhausted, if your emotions are out of control? The trouble with CBT is it's like emptying a bath with a teaspoon. It's like cutting a lawn with a pair of scissors. It does do the job, but it's altogether not powerful enough because it's working on the thoughts. But as we have understood, it's the emotions around exhaustion, around worrying too much, that are really the drivers. And I think this is one of the explanations why, and there's new evidence of this, that the NHS program to use CBT to relieve depression in the UK has been a monumental failure. The evidence shows that less than 10% of all the depressed people who have been signed up for it have got any benefit from it. And it's really not surprising when you think about it. And finally, a lot of people will put a lot of weight on mindfulness or meditation. That's becoming very fashionable. It's becoming very fashionable even in the NHS because they have found evidence to show that there's something in it. And I think, again, mindfulness and meditation is a bit like nutrition. It's a bit like taking exercise. Yes, it can help. And in fact, I at times recommend it, and I practice meditation and mindfulness with my clients. But generally speaking, the same criticism of mindfulness is for the nutrition, that if you are lost in a depression, there is no way that you can still your mind and be mindful and attempt to meditate. Your emotions are way out of control. So I would say meditation, just like nutrition, just like taking exercise, are what happens in the second stage of recovery, when you're really beginning to move and you know why you are beginning to move.